good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, but I'm on a little road trip, and so I had some time to make a quick video. So today, I want to talk about fear, if my car will stay out of the little things on the road. I want to talk about fear, and this topic is coming up. I've talked about it before, but usually when I talk about it, it's always a little different than the last time I talked about it. So, yesterday I was, at work, and we were in our morning meeting, and someone had asked me, they asked me, oh, where did I park? And I'm like, where did I park? I'm like, oh, I parked on the street, because I don't park on the property because the parking slots are so close together. People will open their door and ding your car, and some people can't even get in their car because the spaces are so tight. And so I don't want my car all banged up. So then I park on the street, and I didn't think anything of it. And they're like, were you okay? Did you see anybody? And I'm like, did I see anybody? And then it had dawned on me about a week ago. We received a message that there had been several stabbings, at least 7, on the block that our building is on, because where the office is not the greatest of areas. And so I had totally forgotten about it. And I was like, oh, I'm not worried about it, whatever. And they're like, what? You're not worried about it? And I'm like, no, like I don't care. Like I don't care. It's not a big deal to me. And they're like, oh, but you could, die. And I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I'm like, I don't care. And they were looking at me like I was like the crazy one, right? And it didn't dawn on me, what was going on. But in that moment, I realized that most people live in fear. And the fear was you could die. And I had made a comment, I said, well, I'll go, what are you going to worry about? Like, what's the point in worrying? Because if something happens to you, it's going to happen. But why worry about something that hasn't happened or that may never happen? Like, what's the point in worrying about that? If you're going to get stabbed, you're going to get stabbed. If you're going to get jumped, you're going to get jumped. If you're going to get, if your life is going to end here, then your life is going to end here. And that's the point right there, is this whole fear of death. There is no death, but they fear this thing that's going to happen that will never happen. Now, is there a possibility that your experience can be brought to an abrupt halt here on the planet? Absolutely. That's what we call death. But there is no death, because once you stop having to focus here in this physical world, you're simply going to have focus in the spirit world, which is another material form. It's just in a different vibrational state. That's it. And so I don't have any problem with that one, because I'm aware of the spirit world or the spirit state. I'm aware of what happens when we so-called die. And I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. Now, when I was younger, of course, I was taught to be fearful, of death. And, you have to preserve your life. And of course, you want to value your life. But honestly, it's like, uh-oh, my car said, okay, take over. Hold on a second. Hold on one moment. I wasn't driving. My car was driving. Okay, put it back on. Oh, that distracted me. Let me see. Is it going to go around this car? Hopefully it will. Anyway, I'm okay with it. When I was, that's what I was saying. So when I was younger, of course, you're taught to, be afraid, you have to preserve your life. And yes, you're supposed to honor your life and, preserve it as much as possible and, live it in a way where you have the best experience. But at some point, you're going to die, or what we call death. Like that experience is going to happen. It happens to everybody. There is not anybody who has ever walked this planet that has never experienced that, who has already left. Your grandparents, perhaps, your great-greats, they were all here, and then they weren't. And when they left here, they were in the spirit world. So for me, I can't fear something that I know is going to happen. What's to fear? People are left behind all the time. They're left behind for 1 year, 5 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, and then they kick the bucket and they're thrusted into the same experience as those before us. So there's just no fear. But anyway, going back to the point is, there is really no reason to be fearful. If something is going to happen, it's going to happen. But I think what's really more important than anything is to understand how to create a life where you don't experience the things that you are so-called fearful of. That's the ticket. That's the key. That's how you live life. Okay, construction zone, 1 second. Okay. That's how you live life. You live life in a way where you don't cause the universe to bring you experiences that will yield these experiences that you're so afraid of experiencing. That's it. Some things are painful that you're fearful of. Some things aren't painful that you're fearful of. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't matter. Fear, the feeling of fear brings about experiences to sustain that feeling of fear. That's all you're doing. Let's take someone who, I was giving these kids a ride, because I do ride share for some of you who don't know. I was giving these kids a ride. I picked them up from some private school, and they were talking about boxing and, fighting, something, Fight Club and all this stuff that, they were actively in. And you have to ask yourself, or maybe you don't have to ask yourself, but, one should probably ask themselves, why are they needing to do that? I had an aunt. She passed on. She's in the spirit world doing whatever in the heck she's doing. But she was a black belt in karate. And this is what she liked to do. But understand, anybody who embarks upon any type of activity or journey, they are wanting to, whatever they're learning, they're going to want to use it. So if you're going to school to be in architecture, then you're going to want to use those skills. If you're going to train to, or go get boxing training or karate training or any kind of training, anything you train in, you're going to want to utilize that skill. But understand this, people. It doesn't matter what it is. Teaching, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you embark upon in terms of learning how to do something, you're learning because you want to do it. Now, individuals who sign up to learn how to fight and kickbox and karate and chop and all this stuff, understand at some point they are wanting to demonstrate the skills that they've learned to prove to themselves and other people. Understand, in order to learn how to fight, you have a fear that something is going to happen to you. Okay? So when you learn this skill, you're going to want to put it to use. So that means there are situations that you're already conjuring up in your head. Understand, when you're training to fight, during that training, things are happening where they say, okay, if this situation happens, you're going to do this. If someone approaches you like this, you're going to do this. And you're getting into that mindset. You're getting into that feeling. And this is creating your reality. Meaning there's going to be a situation where someone's going to approach you and you're going to be able to demonstrate that skill that you wholeheartedly want to demonstrate to yourself and others. You want to prove it to yourself, and you want to prove to others that what you did was the right thing to do. But the point is, you're calling the experience to you. When you're going to shoot a gun, when you're learning how to do all that stuff, You're preparing for situations. But when you prepare for something, you're telling the universe, this is what I'm preparing for. This is what I want to be able to do. In this situation, I want to be able to use my gun and ward off this person. It doesn't matter if you want to, if you have a desire to pull the trigger. Some people have the desire to just pull out the gun and scare the enemy away. That's still an experience. Some people want to be able to pull the gun and shoot it. So it doesn't matter what it is. What we feel the most, what we feel most passionately about is what we call to ourselves. I've learned this, in my life. And once I figured it out, once I figured out what I was doing to create these experiences that I had been having in my life, I stopped. Slowly but surely, I stopped. It was hard in the beginning to even fathom that I was the one creating this stuff, because when I first heard it, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not telling these people to come and do this to me. I'm not telling this person to treat me like that, but I was, and I didn't even know it. I was doing it on such a level that I was completely unaware of. I was instructing the universe to bring these knuckleheads into my life and treat me a certain way. And then once I realized that, I stopped doing it. It was that easy. It was that simple. And so now I don't live in the type of fear that I used to live in. So again, my point is, when you have fear, you are creating a space, an environment. You are preparing the universe to bring you an experience that you would say you don't want, but yet you're doing it. The creation isn't all about moving matter around. It's not about these tangible things and just moving this and moving that and doing this and doing that. No, life is happening even when you're not doing anything physical. When you're feeling and when you're thinking, and when you're thinking, you're feeling about the thinking that you're having. This is how it all happens, just like that. So when you're fearful, and let me tell you, fear is one of the most passionate feelings that you could ever experience. Oh. Go ahead. The car. I'll stay here until you pass me. There you go. You can probably see the cars in the rearview mirror. We were both getting in the lane at the same time, but anyway, so, that's what I was saying. So, these feelings of fear and worry, they are intense feelings. And when you feel it with all of your being. You feel it with all of your being. When you feel fear and worry and you're stressed out, understand that you're feeling it physically. And that means that the power of your feelings and the power of your emotions are so strong in that moment that you can feel it physically. It's transforming into something that you can actually feel within your physical body. Now, if you're feeling that in your physical body, imagine the strength of the signal that you are sending to the universe. When you are happy, when you are excited, you still feel it in your body. You can feel the excitement in your physicality. That is the feelings that you want to have, are the happy and the joyous ones. The feeling of calmness is actually a feeling, that peaceful, restful state. That's usually the state that I'm in for the most part, and that's why my experiences are so mellow. I don't have these huge, I don't get overly excited, and I don't get like stressed out and worried and stuff like that. So my normal state of being is really always at peace. It's just at rest, just like I am now. I'm relaxed. I'm not driving the car is driving. I'm just talking. I'm experiencing my experience, but it's just calm. It's a calm, nice, joyful, peaceful experience, just like that. just like that. And so the universe is going to bring me more of it. Now, when I was younger, I used to have more extremes in terms of what I was feeling. So, if I was really angry, then, I was really angry. If I was really excited about something, I was really excited about something. But as I've gotten older, I have toned down a bit. And so I don't get super excited about things. And I don't get, on the other end of the spectrum, I don't get, really, anxious or anything like that. But I can tell you that my experiences are pretty much the same. Now, because of the degradation that I do have in my soul, the emotional trauma that I still hold within my being is still there. So yes, I do experience some situations where I'm not as pleased. I will get a little irritated and annoyed about certain things, but I quickly reel it in. Like in the moment, I feel what I'm feeling. I recognize that I'm feeling it, and then I quickly tone it down. And then I try to process what the heck I was feeling, what is actually happening to me in this moment. But to stay there in an angry state, I just don't do that anymore. Even in the workplace, when I was younger, I would say, I'd say about 10 years ago, there were huge swings, because there were people who were, doing things to me, and I was responding to it, in a very passionate way. And so I would hold grudges and hate them forever, and now I just don't give a shit. I'm like, whatever, you do you, I'm doing me. I don't care what you're doing. And the reason why that is, and it's not that I don't care, but I know that whatever is happening in someone's life has absolutely nothing to do with me. I'm not doing anything to them. I'm not having any ill will, any ill thoughts, anything like that whatsoever. So I know I have absolutely nothing to do with their misery. I have nothing to do with their anger, with their sadness. Oh, we're changing lanes? Okay, I guess we're changing lanes. So, back in the day, my experiences, were like the pendulum. It would swing real far and swing real far back to the other direction, and that was my experience. But now, no, everything is really mellow, really cool. And, ooh, this car is coming up fast. Let me see if the car should move over. The car, if it senses a car behind me that's coming up fast, usually it'll move out of the way. Let me see if it does it. Oh, guess not. Guess you gotta go around. Oh, now it wants to move over. I guess it needed to make sure everything was clear before it did it. But that car is in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. I'm doing 70 miles an hour. I'm just cruising. This is my life. Just cruising. This is what I like. But anyway, back to this fearful stuff. It's really powerful, people. I see so many people have these experiences that they don't have to have. You don't have to have these experiences that you have that you don't like having. Even though it's like, when someone says, hey, you have to do this in order to get that, the whole quid pro quo thing. That's an ugly feeling, and it's kind of like that. That's how people live their lives for the most part, how I see it. It's like, okay, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like what I'm experiencing, but it's just life. So it's just part of life. I have to go through it. I hear that all the time. It's just life. And I'm like, in my mind, because I don't say anything to people anymore, but in my mind, I'm like, no, boo, it's your life. It's not life. When I hear, I come from, some of I come from a Jehovah's Witness background. And so their thing is, don't be part of the world. This is man's world, and so you're supposed to, live in God's world, I guess, whatever. But, if you look at their life individually, I think everybody's life would be better if you were able to look at your life as your own world. Just your own world, not the world. Don't compare your life to the world as a whole, everybody as a whole. Just look at your own individual life. When you say, hey, the world is on fire, if your life is not on fire, then it's not on fire. It's not on fire. Not everybody is living a harsh life. Not everybody is living a harsh life. Okay, this makes me nervous. This little barrier on the sides make me nervous. I need to get in the other lane. I don't like the car driving by itself too close to the barrier there. But anyway, the whole world is not on fire. Now, the majority of the world, well, I can't even say the majority, but there are a lot of people who are suffering. In this country, in other countries, it doesn't matter. There's white people, black people, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, everything in between. There are people who are suffering in all of those categories. But there are also people who are not suffering in those exact same categories. The world is not on fire, but some people's world is on fire. Some people's world it's crumbling. Ooh, are we going to change lanes? I think so. We're coming in hot. And that's how I live my life. My life is my world, and all the worlds around me, all the people's lives around me, absolutely irrelevant to my existence. But what is relevant are the people I choose to interact with. That's relevant. So when my world collides with the world of others, or when other people decide, hey, I'm going to involve Zachary, that's when I get to choose, do I want to be involved in this or not? Now, I do understand that people will do things to you, and it's part of your law of attraction. So if something negative happens to you, understand, again, you called it to you. But at the same time, once that message is delivered, once that whatever thing that happened to you that you didn't like happens, let that be the end of it. Let it be the end of it. Let the universe deliver the message and then walk your butt away. Don't stay there and go back and forth. Like if somebody says something to you, if somebody does something to you, get the message and bounce. Just go. Say, okay, universe, I got the message from this a-hole, or I got the message from this B, and thank you so much. I'm going to process that, and now I got to go. Don't go back and forth, because when you go back and forth, again, you're putting your emotions in it, you're putting your feelings in it, and you're going to call more of it to you. You only need the lesson to figure it out, but, that's only if you want to figure it out. If you don't want to figure it out, then you're going to continue to get these lessons over and over and over again. And that means someone's going to do something to you. You're going to do it back. You're going to stay in your feelings and emotion. It's going to happen more often, because understand the universe is only instructed to do one thing, and that is to show you, to reflect back to you who you are. The universe is nothing more than a mirror. Nothing more than a mirror. If you are experiencing a lot of beauty, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, then understand the universe is reflecting that back to you. If you are experiencing a lot of struggle, a lot of strife, a lot of grief, a lot of all types of negativity, that is the universe showing you who you are. That's it. That's all that's happening. That's all that is happening, people. Nothing more than that. Absolutely nothing more than that. And so we are experiencing ourselves. I remember hearing this when I first started on this journey of learning about the universe and whatnot. And I was like, I think it was Abraham that was like, you're just experiencing yourself. And I didn't get it. Because I didn't come from a background where this stuff was talked about. I don't want to say nobody, because I do remember looking back on my life and hearing people say certain things that didn't make any sense to me, but it makes sense to me now. So even though I wasn't aware of it, the messages were being delivered. The truth of what was being delivered. Just like some of you are hearing this right now and you probably never heard any of these things that I'm talking about. Here is a universe delivering a message to you. Just like that. Maybe you've heard my videos before. Maybe you haven't. Maybe this is your first time. And maybe you're like, I never thought of it like that. That makes a lot of sense. Just never know. Just never know. It's so beautiful out here. We've been getting a lot of rain in Southern California since last year, actually. And it's just been pretty consistent. Usually we're out of the rain right now, and we started to start to creep up in the higher temperatures, but it's been pretty mild. It's 52 degrees right now. Things are still pretty green. So yeah, it's a nice drive. Very, very nice. The only thing I don't like about these types of drives is bugs. Bugs on my car, just splat, splat, splat all over the place. But anyway, so yeah, fear. Understand the power of fear, but not just understand the power of fear, understand your power. I think that's probably more important, is to understand your power, the power of creation coming from you. Like, God created all things, but understand, when I say God created all things, God created all things to be possible. So did God create anger? No. Did God create suffering? No. But he allowed his creation to create whatever his creations wants to create. And we create it every day. We create it every day. When we wake up in a bad mood, if we're waking up in a bad mood, we have been on that path of negative creation for some time. And it's like a hamster wheel. And you've been living, your life has probably been like that for as long as you can remember. I used to wake up not too much, but I usually wake up pretty, in a good mood. But when I think about my day, then it used to start to decline. Now, my days are really, really steady. It's really peaceful and calm. Nothing too exciting. And that's something I need to work on, because I do feel that you should be excited. You should be able to feel the extremes of positivity, the extremes of happiness, the extremes of joy. I don't have that right now. And obviously there's things that I need to work on within myself, because for me personally, I feel I'm too neutral. But one thing I am grateful for is that I'm not experiencing the negativity. I see it all around me, and sometimes I respond to it internally. I don't outwardly express my displeased for something, but I do experience it internally, which is why I keep seeing it. It's like, okay, I'm still in an environment where I'm seeing the negativity, which I'm supposed to be experiencing, because it still dwells within me. I'm not saying that I'm completely, oh, my phone, hold on a second. Oh, it's already charged. I'm not saying that I am completely removed from all negativity. That's not what I'm saying. Hold on, I need to turn my seat down. It's cold in here. But what I am saying is that, I do understand that there are things within my being that I need to release, because it still keeps me where I am in terms of my environment. My environment really hasn't changed too much, but what I can say is, because of the way I have changed things within my being, there are a lot of people who were doing things to me who have been removed from my life. And so I understand that if someone does something to me and they keep doing it, they're going to be removed, dismissed, just like that. I already know that's going to happen, because it has been happening for years now. And just one by one, boop, the universe, boop. The universe is doing this, boop, boop, boop. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Now, I don't take pleasure in, here's one thing I do take pleasure in. I take pleasure in understanding the process. I do like to see when things are functioning. So when I see God's universe in action, I get excited. I do get excited about it. I'm like, okay, I know this is going to happen because this is the system. This is God's system. And so I take great joy in watching that happen. But I used, growing up, I used to watch, take apart, remote control cars and stuff, and just watch the little mechanisms work. I would turn the little wheels and watch all the little gears move. I like seeing things work, how they operate and things like that. So when I do see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, that's so cool. And the reason why it's so cool is because I know I can count on it. I know that it will never change. And because it will never change, as long as I maintain what I'm maintaining, and that's probably why everything is so steady right now for me, because I'm maintaining. And I think it's because of the way I was experiencing life beforehand, but now I'm like, okay, this is how I don't experience those negative things, those negative experiences. And so I think that's probably why I'm so mellow and even keel right now, because that's what I'm attempting to achieve or maintain. But hopefully that will change in the future. Doing things like this definitely changes, because see, I work 7 days a week, all day and all night. I'm always working. But this is relaxing. It gets me out of that hamster wheel state, even though it's still pleasant. I love what I do. Everything that I do, I love doing it. There aren't any experiences where I'm fearful of like, oh gosh, I have to do this again today. I don't have that. Some people hate working. I love it. I love being active like that. I like producing. I like being productive. So those things don't bother me. Even though, it's required to live, that's good for me personally, because I'm at peace with it, whereas other people are resistant to it. But there's other reasons why people would be resistant to something like that. What else? I think that's it. Just being mindful of the things that you're fearful of, I think, is probably the most important thing. And understand that there's really no point in it. It does serve a purpose. I think the only thing that fear serves a purpose for is to understand that you're buying into something that you shouldn't be buying into. That's really how I see it. If I'm fearful of something, if I recognize that I am experiencing some type of fear, I immediately, when I do recognize that it is fear, because sometimes we fearful of things without putting that label on it. Worried about something is still a fear, and we worry about our loved ones. We worry if this is going to happen. We're worrying if you're going to get approved for this, or you're not going to be able to do this. Like these worries are part of fear. And once you recognize that you're experiencing it and you put that label on it, for me, once I put that label on it, I stop it immediately. I know, hey, I need to stop it. There's no point in this. Whatever it is that I'm desiring, let that be the desire and keep it pushing. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. Here's a prime example. I had posted a video some years back. It was a channeling. I think Mary and AJ were helping some 6-dimensional spirits. And this lady had commented on my video. And I think hers was the only comment on that video. And she said, hey, thanks for sharing. Did you know that, AJ and Mary are going to be in San Diego? And I had known about this about a month ago. Someone had said, hey, did you know that AJ and Mary are going to be in San Diego? And I said, no, I didn't know. And she said, yeah, they're going to be in San Diego. And my thought was to, I did go to the site. They had sent me the link. I went to the site, and the site stated that, hey, the dates are to be determined. So I had to check back. And so I got busy. I didn't check back. And then someone not too long ago had asked me, I think the same person said, hey, did you sign up for it? And I told them no, and they said, oh, it's full. And I said, well, darn, And then they said, oh, there's another one in South Carolina, I think, or something like that. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not flying. I'm not spending. I'm not flying all the way to, South, any of the Carolinas, to see AJ Mary. In my mind, since I'm here in Southern California, and San Diego is like, what, 3 hours, two hours away, maybe? In my mind, I'm like, okay, if AJ Mary are going to be so close, and then, if it's for me to be there, then it's going to happen. When I'm not going to fly across the country to see someone. I'm just, if it's not going to happen close, then I'm not going to try to force it, to happen, halfway across the country. So anyway, I said, oh, thank you so much, for letting me know. Yes, I was told, but, I was told that it's full. And so, I guess if it, wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. So, something said, go to the website, find the link that, a Facebook friend has sent me. And so I went to the link, I'm scrolling, I click on it, and it says sign up, for a seat, So I do it. There's two different ones. There's a seminar one, which is like 3 days. And then there's the following week, there's another one. It's like a more intimate setting. It's called living room. And so I was able to sign up for both of them, even though they were full. Even though they were full and there was a wait list and all that, people are getting on the wait list. When I went to the link, I was able to sign up for both of them. And so I was chatting, with someone else, with the person who, who had originally sent me the information, who said that, they're booked and, they're only doing waiting lists. She went to sign up and she got the waiting list, but I didn't get the waiting list. I was able to sign up. I got my tickets. And so my point is, if there is something that you desire, the universe is going to make it happen. It's going to make it happen. If you have fear, if you have any kind of resistance, then you're going to meet that resistance. Your experience is going to be that which you fear. So if I feared, not going, if I was disappointed because I didn't get to, I would have solidified that experience within my being. But I didn't. I just let it go. My original desire was I wanted to see them here in Southern California because it was so close. That's what my original desire was. But at no time did I allow anything else to replace that desire. I put it out into the universe, allowed the universe to have it. I didn't replace it with any kind of fear or worry or doubt or anything like that. And the universe somehow, I don't know how it happened. But I don't care how it happened. I don't care how it happened. I'm just glad it happened. I'm excited that it happened. Again, my life just kept going nice and smooth. No ups, no downs. I was excited a little bit, but if anything, like when I'm experiencing my life and things are going my way, when you get used to something, it's just normal. It's just normal. It's like, okay, it's like this. This is how the feeling is when things go my way like this. It's like getting up in the morning, making breakfast, making lunch, making dinner, or even if you don't cook, you get lunch, you grab breakfast, you go to your favorite coffee shop, bagel shop, whatever. It's expected. You just know it's just going to happen. There's no ups and downs or extremes about it. It's just part of life. And that's part of my life right now. Things are just moving smoothly. And I like it. I like the smoothness of this existence, of this experience that I'm having. And the reason why it's like this is because I don't hold this thing called fear. Like, I don't hold it. Like, let it go. Let it go. Don't even hold it. Don't even hold it. But if you do, okay, I gotta drive now, it looks like. Oh, it said I was looking away. I wasn't looking away. Okay, put it back on. Oh, was I? Oh, I was looking at my rearview mirror. So the car attracts my eyeballs and you have to like pay attention and stuff like that. So when you don't do that, if you're looking off in the distance, It says, hey, you're looking away too long, you got to drive now. Anyway, but yeah, that's all I have to say with that. Fear, no point. It's just no point. There's no point in having it. It's such a disservice to you, and it's a disservice to other people that you care about, that look at you, especially the young people who see you live in fear, and you teach them how to live in fear. And so basically you're messing up their life, and whether you talk to them or not, they're watching. People, even adults, are watching you. I now see the adults that watch me. I now see it. You know, some people are verbal about it. They're like, I see what you're doing. I see how you live your life. But even those people who never, ever say anything to you, they're watching you. Everybody, look, you are being watched all the time. We all are. By people we know and people we don't know. They're looking at you and they're saying, like, when I'm seeing somebody have a negative experience, I'm looking at them. I'm learning from them. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. Poor thing. You know, just people are watching, you know. And so if you can help the world become a better place if you change the way you live your life. Give people the opportunity to, I think this big risk coming over. Give people the opportunity to be better. But in order to do that, you have to be better. You can't tell a person to be better and you're not attempting to do it yourself. It doesn't work that way. You can tell people something all day long, but if you can't prove it to them, and what is it? The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the physicality. So when you're having a good life, when you're having a calm life, when you're having the type of life that is desirable, that physicality that people are seeing, your physical experience, they're learning from that. That's what they're doing. So shake it off, people. Shake that fear off. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And that's it. That is my video about fear. Highway Patrol. Hey, no hands, officer, no hands. So yeah, I hope everyone is having a great week so far. It's only Tuesday, but maybe you can change your worry, your anxiety, your fear into something more positive. Yeah, that's it. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye now.